We'll start with, of course, that deadly winter storm and that update from officials in hard-hit Erie County. They just announced 12 more people have been killed because of this storm. That means that 25 people in all in just this county alone are dead after this, 60 deaths nationwide. And when you pull back, when you look at not just the weather situation, but the travel situation, hundreds of flights have already been canceled today, meaning more headaches for travelers this morning yet again. I want to bring in NBC's Jesse Kirsch, who is live from New York. NBC's Shaquille Brewster is at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport for us. Jesse, let me start with you and the latest update from folks in Buffalo. It sounds like they're saying, hey, people still need to be staying off the roads. They are still impassable, and it is still incredibly hard for emergency workers to get where they need to get.
Yeah, Hallie, there have been instances as well where we've heard of emergency workers themselves getting stuck and needing help getting their vehicles out of the snow. That is the dire situation we're looking at in Buffalo. And remember, this is a community that is used to bad weather in the winter, and they are still talking about this storm as the most devastating in the history of that city. That is from New York's governor, who is, of course, familiar with that part of the state of New York, in the western part of the state. We are learning that the death toll continues to climb. Just this morning alone, officials in Erie County, New York, where Buffalo is, reporting an additional 12 deaths. So at this point, we are looking at least 50 people across the country who have been reportedly killed as a result of the winter weather we've been experiencing for days. Buffalo appears to have suffered the worst brunt of this, or one of the worst brunts of this, over the weekend. We're talking about close to 4 feet of snow reported. The governor says there were wind gusts approaching 80 miles per hour, just below 80 miles per hour. Also, the governor says state police have been involved with at least 500, more than 500 rescues. In one instance, state police apparently even helping to deliver a baby. That is the kind of situation we're hearing about. And although there are many instances of sadness, the mayor of Buffalo telling me that around Christmas, when people should be celebrating their people, making funeral arrangements, there is some silver lining and hope coming out of this community as well. There is a story of a couple who wound up having a group of tourists from Korea who were driving to Niagara Falls, got stuck on the side of the road outside their home, knocked on the door asking for shovels apparently, and the couple said, you can't be out there, you need to get inside. So they wound up housing 10 people, 9 tourists and their driver, for 2 nights. They made the most of the holiday. They had dinner together. They kept everyone warm and safe. And I talked with one of those tourists this morning who was on his honeymoon, and he says that obviously plans did not go as were expected, but this wound up being a great trip, and it looks like these two groups have essentially become new extended family out of this. So there are some signs of hope coming out of this, people teaming up and working together. And even that couple who I pointed out to them might have possibly saved these people's lives said the real heroes are those rescue workers who are going around the clock to try to help people who are still stranded out there. And again, as you mentioned, officials still want people to stay off of the roads, because even if the snowfall is tapering off, this is still a long road ahead in Buffalo.